professional white behind kissers, and as Carlos Cook, a disgrace to the skin they wear. These people, if I'm be so kind to call them that, are running from themselves and teaching us a lesson that we should have learned long ago. Sometimes white wannabes are more dangerous than whites. And sometimes they'll fight you harder to be accepted by whites. They are running from their own.
Being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
Let's yap about it. Yeah. Let's yap about it. Yap about it podcast. Yeah. Starring Raw Bass. Let's yap about it. Yeah. Let's yap about it. Let's yap about it. Yeah. Let's yap. Let go. Yeah. Let's yap about it. We in the mix. Fit too savage. Let's yap about it. Was so living, had to pray for all of my children. Now the whole world be listening. Talk to niggas from prison. Spoke how they was living, how the COs be tripping. Rappers losing on the back end because promoter dudes keep dipping. Seen the show when the dude started out of bloods, then start crippin'. Stripper niggas stop tipping, out of game niggas stop flipping. Bad attitude, so he had to move just to keep his ass out of prison. Seen a show about a young hoe, fucked on a sister, man, no apology. Let's yap about it. If the bitch come around me, shit, she can holler at me. Check my Instagram, she was following me, cause she knew I be where them dollars be. Rapid funds, but I keep it going, I fuck you up, no apologies. Yep. Let's yap about it. Yep. Let's yap about it. Yep. Let's yap about it. Live with Raw Bass. Yep. Let's yap about it. Another one. Finish him. Bit too savage. Savage like music.
We are back. We are back better than ever, y'all. For real, for real. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Listen, I had to come back, man. Listen, I got so much of a lot of feedback, especially from the episode that we did just a couple of maybe about a day or so, which was the Malcolm X versus Black Fatigue. And it was just me correlating everything that Malcolm has done, Martin has done, and all the greats that have came before us to pave the way for us to think the way that we think, the way we're supposed to think, as opposed to the way that we are now in our society. There's so much going on, so much negative, so much controversy, so much drama, but we must attest to our own goals, aspirations, and things like that so that we can reach our pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? Black excellence is supposed to be a representation and standard of the upper echelon of everything. And it's time that we start addressing these things and we start looking at these things from a different perspective. You already know who I am. You know what I'm saying? So let's get straight to it. Welcome to the Let's Yap About It podcast. We are changing the world one conversation at a time. I'm Robert Higgins, your host for tonight's program. Please subscribe, share, hit that like button to let us know. We appreciate you for tuning in. And especially on this conversation we're going to have, it's going to be concrete. It's going to be tough. But nonetheless, we want to spark the brain, entertain, and most of all, explain in detail about what we are yapping about tonight, man. I'm just glad for to be in here once again. As you see, I've been on a tear. Just a little tear lately, you know what I'm saying? Definitely getting on this podcast game and jumping in the algorithm and just providing just a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, different flavor that we need, especially to keep us going. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. I also want to send another special shout out. 8 Ball Coffee. Listen, a coffee blend that's like no other to get your morning started or for an evening nightcap. The coffee beans made from this magnificent blend are from multi-generation harvesters and growers of Kenya. 8 Ball Coffee is not only a way to support your community, but also a way to support the environment globally. Don't trip. Take a sip today. And listen, be a blessing all across the board. But the most important thing is let's drink some coffee, man. For real, for real. Shout out to 8 Ball, man. Definitely doing big things. One of the legends, one of the greats of the South. You know, we definitely got to give him that respect. But I'm doing a part 2. This part 2, Malcolm X versus Black Fatigue 2, is just something that I wanted to do, and I really wanted us to get into so that we could understand some different things from some perspectives that I found quite interesting. Some things that I'm gonna open up about are about my life tonight so that you could be self-aware and to be able to look at things from a completely different perspective. But we're gonna definitely get into it tonight. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna do what we do, only when we're doing it well, and we're gonna get straight to it. So let's do it. Listen, the first thing I wanted to talk about tonight is this, and I want y'all to check this out. We're going to do a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of controversy tonight and whatnot. We're going to definitely get to it. And listen, all of y'all, I want to let y'all know this. Listen to me. Like, subscribe, share tonight's program. The topics that we talk about, man, listen, get everybody, gather around. Let's have a real live conversation. Listen, the link is going to be in the chat. So all you got to do is just go into the comments. If you want to speak on certain things that we're talking about tonight, man, listen, be a part of the conversation or even drop a comment later. I do not mind. So, you know, let's definitely get to it tonight. But without further ado, I wanted to bring up some things that I've seen and some things that have went viral across the board. But I really wanted y'all to check this out and some things I wanted to get off my chest, especially with these situations. And then I'm going to be addressing some shit tonight that I think I really needed to get off my chest. Been on my chest for a while, and it's time for us to get into it. So let's get into it.
Oh, that shit crazy. I'm recording. I don't care. Bitch, I'm beating your ass when on site. I'm calling her now. Bitch, I'm beating your ass on site. Yeah.
Ho, pull up to the store. Fuck that. Pull up. I want the bitch to pull up.
So bring me back. Hold on.
And I won't call the cops.
Hold on. Baby.
See that right there?
Ho, we got that 50 for them gamma 11. She need to have that money. She
I want to bring something up about this situation. And it really got me thinking about this black fatigue because I got so many good positive reviews about what I talked about first. But I have to address this situation at hand, right in front of our faces. We can see that people in this time right now are desperate. We can see right now in this time that people are not financially stable, for one. And a lot of times, these people that are getting these jobs and getting these opportunities that could present themselves to go into a higher height of financial stability, they choose to stay stagnated in that survival mode. That right there, what you see, is straight survival mode and desperation. This is what I be talking about when you go into certain um, job markets. And when you go in these job markets, people are sometimes not just looking for a job and an opportunity, they're looking for an opportunity to steal. Make no mistake about it. You got people already trying to survey certain areas, blind spots where cameras are and everything. And then sometimes you just got people that just blatantly don't give a damn. And you got to understand that these companies have a revolving door high in some of these areas. So sometimes they just want a body to fill a space that's needed, especially in the workplace. So you have to be mindful. And I want to use this as an example. Start paying attention to the people that are on your job. Don't ever think for a second that in that survival mode that they won't cross you, even in a corporate setting. And let me be clear about this. There are people in the corporate setting that are even in higher positions waiting for the right time to make a move to steal. Make no mistake about it. There are people right now in supervisor positions, CFO positions. I'm talking about all across the board, waiting for the right particular moment to stick their hand in the goddamn cookie jar. You got some people that will befriend you, steal from you. I'm talking about even at the job. They're going because a lot of times you got to remember a person that's in survival mode in the streets. And let's break it down. Let's get real. Let's get real with this. Sometimes people in the streets will try to do something different because they need a different look because a lot of people have already been burnt in the process of these people that you see right here stealing it now. So they'll get a job. So they need a change of scenery because guess what? The outside world is too hot. And guess what? We got people out here that are scheming. We got people out here that are scamming. We got people out here that are waiting these opportunities to abuse you, not use you, but abuse you. So make no mistake, sometimes the job market is just a little bit of a different look. So then when they get in there, they're up to their same ways. It does not change. A lot of times these people, when you see them, man, they'll get to you at the job, get cool, start calling you, that's my sister, that's my brother. All the while, you're on the chopping block to be stole from. A lot of times people are waiting right for that moment, that precise moment when you let your guard down. Do you know that in this lifetime, the climate of where we are in our society, that people take your kindness and your altruism as a sign of weakness? I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of times, even check out your relationships, check out your friendships with people, even the people that you love and care about and want to spend the rest of your life with. You don't understand that these people look for certain individuals like you. And when they look for individuals like you, they want to see how far they can push the line. They don't want to settle in to establish and build something and to create a territory of legacy or anything of value. No, 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 no. That's not their mission. Their mission is to pillage off of whatever they can get, utilize it as a resource as long as they can, and then it's off to the races, then it's off to the next person. That's their goal. That's their main agenda. So when you see people like this, that's at a job that then got in where she fit in, gonna play it cool, just play it just as I'm supposed to. That was her whole design from the jump. Her whole design was to get a job get an opportunity so that she could go in there to steal something, but not just to steal something, but to see how far that she can go with it. Because there are people walking around right now. You know, some of them right now on a job. You know, some of them right now out in the field. You know, some of them right now within your family that is waiting for the right opportunity to learn you and burn you. Make no mistake, be observant of people like this, because people like this will end up doing whatever it takes, even if it means setting you up. Even if it means setting you up to get rid of you, to get whatever it is that they need or whatever they want. Give you a prime example. Something that stuck with me. Me and my friends of mine were talking about it at the barbershop maybe about a couple of weeks ago, about a young man that was on Homestead. And this is you never seen it coming. The young man never seen it coming. He was an honorable guy. He had got his income tax. He had let his friends know that he had got his income tax, and he was willing to share his income tax with his brothers, his friends, and also the girl that he was with. He wanted to see them have just as much as he had, if not more, the definition of a true friendship. So what ended up happening was he got his income tax. Everybody knew. She set him up to be killed. And he was shot and killed for his income tax money. Mind you, he was the one that had the altruism. Remember that key word. I want you to start focusing in on these type of things. The one that he liked, the one that he thought was his, the friends that he thought he had was his, the people that he really wanted to look out for were the same ones that was destructive to his spirit. So when I say these things, you have to understand the climate of where we are in 2026. Just a couple of years ago, the money was plentiful. Everybody was getting PPP loans. Everybody had the money on the sleeves. They was doing everything that they wanted to do. Now that money's dried up. So now it's back everybody that then overspent. They're in survival mode. You heard me say this. John Steinbeck said this as a quote. If you ever want to bring a society to its knees, what you do is you give them too much and then you take it away. And a lot of these people that have had the opportunity and had thousands and access to opportunities and all of those blessings that they had, they squandered them. So you have to understand that you must protect your blessing. You must understand that you can't really even be happy and to be able to express it to people, because now at the point of where we are, man, people want to rip it from you. And you got to understand that you got to play by these rules of understanding that you are food to those who are starving out here in these streets. So I want you to pay attention to people like this in your relationships, in your friendships. See what they have to offer. See what they're bringing as far as tangible evidence. And if they're not bringing nothing to the table, you need to watch them very closely like a hawk. You need to be hovering over them, asking them, what do they got going on? What is their mission? What are their goals? What are their aspirations? All of these things that matter to people in the society who want to function amongst the society. But when I say black fatigue, this is what people run into on a daily basis. And it don't just have to be at a McDonald's. It don't have to be at Jack in the Box. It don't have to be at Burger King. It don't have to be at Chick-fil-A. It could be in your upper echelon places of American General. It could be anywhere from Amazon. It could be anywhere in these multi-million-dollar companies where people are waiting to take from you, to wait till you turn your back and to destroy you by any means necessary. And I don't like using that what Malcolm said, but there are people out here willing to do anything by any means necessary to eradicate you and to erase you off the face of this earth. So be mindful of the people that you sitting next to, that you call friend, because as you just seen me explain about that story, the people that he loved the most and cared about the most and wanted to see them with just as much as he did, they're the ones that pulled the trigger and ended his life just for a few couple $1,000s. Be mindful of that. I want y'all to check out this next one. When I talk about black fatigue, I get in depth about these things. I want you to literally check exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to stop it right there. That's a mom and a daughter. It goes back to what I said the last episode about black fatigue, about us in the mindset and the very mindset of how these things happen. As you can see, that's a mother and a daughter who have literally became sister and brother. And this is exactly what I warned about almost about 8 years ago when I said that this was getting ready to transition to where we are. That daughter has a lot of resentment. That mother has a lot of resentment. I don't know particularly what, but for those punches to be thrown blatantly amongst society where everybody is just, this is a place where you go to get your groceries. There's a whole bunch of hidden animosity. There's a whole bunch of hidden hurt. There's a whole bunch of hidden things amongst those two that usually this ain't the only place that they've done that. If you could look at her and see her bat her in the mouth and then basically close fist punch her in the face like that, that says a lot about exactly where they are as far as their mindset and where their emotions are. And I really want to hit home and drive to what I talk about. I want to say this. The foundation of what your family is tells you a lot about yourself. The foundation of what your family is tells a lot about who you are. And it tells you the very essence of what you come from. Now, as a man and as a woman, you're supposed to have some morals, values, and principles. Now, I asked you some of these questions because it's subjective among everybody, but I feel like these things are the key ingredients in order for you to be a solid person. I'm going to say this. Being honorable, something that doesn't get mentioned. Now, the word gets tossed around amongst the rappers and different things like that. But when I say being honorable, not just amongst the people that you cool with, but just being a stand-up individual, a righteous person, a conscious person that knows what's going on and ain't out here, like I said, trying to be in survival mode, trying to pillage off of everybody that comes encounter with them. That right there is a good foundation to have. Putting in the work, not skipping the process, not trying to fuck over people, not trying to mess over people and try to figure out how you can take an easy way out or an easy route, because these are the things that are supposed to be important amongst our culture. If we're going to consider ourselves as far as black excellence, that's what's supposed to be. Know the difference in between what a degenerate and a low life is and a good person is. Don't shun the good people, but then you keep around all the wolves and the savages that guess what? Eventually, a savage is only as loyal as his last meal and eventually eats you. Don't lie on people. Don't lie on people to get someone harmed or killed. Keep it real with amongst yourself. Understand this key principle. You can help everybody, but you got to be selective in how you do it. And you have to understand also that you can't help everybody, and that's okay, because a lot of times people don't even want to help themselves. Sometimes being able to be a crutch upon the problem is better than the solution, because they've become submerged in it so much to the point to where that problem becomes a coping mechanism. A lot of times when you see your friends having problems, the thing that you have to ask in 2026 is, do you really want me to listen, or do you really want to solve this problem? Do you just want me to just sit back and just be your therapist for the moment? Or do you really want to get into solving this problem because it really needs to be fixed before it rolls into something completely different or something worse that could be detrimental to your health and your mental? That's the question I talk about. And we have to talk about it because it creates an environment. Remember when I said this on the last episode, in your womb, if you have a whole bunch of chaos, disorder, friction, problems, alcoholism, substance abuse, all of those things before you get to the planet Earth, 9 times out of 10, you've absorbed of those surroundings. It's called epigenetics. That's exactly what it becomes. As you can see right here, just a simple moment to where they're actually shopping and they're getting ready to ring up their groceries. It turned into a fist fest right at that moment. But I asked the question, how much do they love each other? Because any man that is around them and seeing that, that's not acceptable. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've seen this with my own eyes. I've literally seen this with my own eyes. I can tell you about my life because I've seen these things. It made me understand exactly these terms that I talk about. I bring them to you because they're a part of my real life. I've seen this to where a mother and a daughter in the house literally got into a fist fight. Tell you how it happened. I'm there, I'm chilling. Everything's cool. Everything's copacetic. Seemed like a normal, cool little spot night. You know what I mean? Everybody's cool, whatever. I hear a little bit of commotion, but I'm thinking it's from a funny standpoint. I think they just, just messing with each other. But then it got serious, and all I heard was, I can bring anybody who else I want to in my house. You don't run nothing around here. Now, at that point, I'm like, okay, maybe they tripping, maybe whatever, but it'll go away. It literally came into a bedroom to where they standing face and face with each other. Well, the mother felt disrespected. She felt disrespected. At this point, child involved. And when I'm saying a child, I'm talking about a child that is not of adult to be able to understand and correlate what's going on. So at this point, I'm like, what is going on here, right? So then next thing you know, she said, I can do whatever I want to do. This is my house. She said, you need to back up because you're being disrespectful. She said, I can do whatever the hell I want to in my house. Then the next thing you know, fists was flying, hair was grabbed, everything. Now, mind you, at this point, I'm shocked because I'm like, is this really happening in front of my face? In front of the child? Is this really happening? So I end up having to separate them. And I'm talking about literally pull them apart. And I'm like, hey, man, y'all family. I don't get in family business. That's me. I don't know what they was on. That ain't my problem. It wasn't my business. But one thing I was like, hey, man, that y'all family, you know what I'm saying? Let that cool off. You go that way. You go that way, man. If you got to go get you something to drink, it can't be that serious at this point because it's in front of me. Now, mind you. So what I did was I had a serious talk. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? That's your mom's. Hey, man, they're never supposed to get to that point. Yeah, you can be frustrated with your parents. Absolutely. We all been there. But not to the point where it gets physical. You know what I'm saying? Because there's an underlining right there that's missing between the both of y'all. Yes, y'all do love each other, care about each other. Y'all supposed to respect one another. But now it's gotten to the point of where it's disrespect. What's going on? Now, I didn't care to go into the details about it, but nonetheless, I said, y'all need to sit down and y'all need to figure it out. Now we got a crying child over here. Now, mind you, I'm the man that's in the whole situation. I'm the one that's playing civil because I know that I've seen these things and I've talked about these things long before they even happen. Because I literally studied the psychology of how this family dynamic and this family nucleus has gotten to the point of where we are in 2026. That what I see on my screen is what I actually lived. And that's why I'm saying if we're ever going to take steps forward in being a better society, I'm talking about Black culture as a whole. If we're going to get to this Black excellence part, that right there cannot be acceptable. Nah. And if I'm going to be anybody's husband, I'll be damned if I let that type of shit go on. That has to be fixed. And this is what I talk about by doing your research. And I'm talking about the ladies too. You see how he is with his mother. You see how he is in his family dynamic, how he is amongst his siblings. Is he respectable? Is he mannerable? Does he carry himself in a decent light, in a decent way that's respectable, not just inside the home, but outside the home? As you grow older, you're supposed to be getting mature. All that shit funny in games. Let me tell you something. And I'm about to say something that's going to piss everybody off right now. Everybody laughing and it's fun in games until you're a single parent. Everything's funny when somebody is actually in your child's life permanently and this person don't know anything about childhood or transition into fatherhood, when that person automatically wants to stay the same the rest of their life. They don't want to be responsible for anything. They don't want to be responsible for the children they create. They don't want to be responsible for the responsibility of their children and their well-being. They just use them as crutches, use them, put them through the goddamn criminal system. They also put them through the special ed system to get $600 a month, only for them to be turned over to the state and their criminal activity to be getting paid at least about 10 to 15,000 amongst the jail system. See, nobody talks about these type of things to where if I don't get the man that I want, I'm going to still utilize this child as a receipt. And children usually become receipts to the poor because guess what? Even if it means sacrificing your education, even if it means I got to go get a job to make sure that, to assure the next fucking generation is better. You're not willing to do that. But you know what you'll do? You'll destroy that child's life. And then manipulate that child into taking care of you because you never had nobody take care of you in the first place. Can we yap about that? Can we yap about how many children are left with the responsibility of taking care of their parents when their parents should have been financially stable? And their parents should have had everything in their affairs in order. So if anything was to happen, that they wouldn't bear the burden on their children to where they would set the next generation back even further because you were too stubborn. You were a discipline problem. And I'm talking about the men too. You were a discipline problem. You were horrible, a manager of money. You were horrible in your lifestyle choices. You were horrible in choosing the right friends. You were horrible as far as the expectations of your life exceeding normalcy. That's what I talk about. But you want to guess what you want to do? You actually used and abused the person that was sent by God to really care for you and respect you and to love you unconditionally, but you ran them off. So the next best thing is you got to utilize your children and manipulate them and do what? Try to soften their heart up a little bit so that they can take care of you and you can have a little room in their house when they husband or their wife is in the same house. When you should have been doing the right thing and making sure that you did everything in your power to assure that you were taken care of and as well as your children were taken care of. You know how many stories I hear like this from females? You know how many stories I hear like this from young males of these young black boys out here bearing the brunt and the responsibility of taking care of their parents, knowing that they fucked their life off with drugs, alcohol, and other bullshit and they ain't got nowhere else to go. So they manipulate their own very children to take care of them when they should be thriving and going off riding off into the races to becoming to making the next generation and the next legacy better than the fucking one that you left here. Let's talk about that. Nobody likes to talk about that. Nobody likes to talk about how, guess what? When you got a solid man coming in that family or a solid female coming in that family, and then everybody's plotting and scheming and scamming, because I told you that survival mode comes around again. Now everybody wants to utilize that one person that has made something out of their life, and you want to try to squeeze the life and squeeze the juice out of them. Instead of him just being the husband to just the wife, he's a damn husband to the whole fucking family who have no men in the house. Or that wife that has the financial responsibility of taking care of a husband and to making sure everything is cool. Then you turn around and that side of the family wants to utilize her and try to use and abuse her as much as you possibly can because you didn't do shit with your life. Can we be honest? Can we be real? Because that right there situation is the picture perfect part of exactly what I'm talking about. If you can be abusive to your parent and you can be abusive to your child in the open fucking public, what makes you think that you're not going to be blatantly disobedient, disrespectful, and all the way wild and rambunctious with your significant other? See, I like to address the elephants in the room. That's when I talk about Malcolm X. Malcolm X was big on family. Malcolm X said that the family nucleus should be the foundation of how you're supposed to move before you come out into the real world. Majority of these people ain't doing it. You know why? Because guess what? When some whole shit and some fuckery ensue to where somebody's getting cheated on, somebody's getting disrespected, somebody's getting physical, nobody wants to assess out what the truth is. They just want to pick the sides of their family. You know why? Because a lot of times misery loves company. Your sister needs some company because she's not fit to be a wife. Sometimes your brother needs company from his other brother because he's not fit to be a husband or a father. You better start looking deeply and solely and closely at these type of people that really rock with you or supposed to rock with you. You better start looking at your family members that are buzzing in your ear, trying to start proxy wars on both sides. So that guess what? At the end of the day, if you do have something of value, if you do have a pension, if you do have a 401k, you do have a 403b, if you do have an annuity, if you do have some stocks and bonds and things stacked up, you won't have another family trying to play you on both sides to try to pillage and try to grab some of that financial wealth that y'all both accumulated together that both sides of the family want because they never had the mental capacity or the hustle or the drive or the grind to do so. You better start looking at the people around you, including your friends, but most of all your family, because that's where it starts. And if you're looking at the chaos that's ensued consistently around your family, then I think it's time that you start vacating the premises and finding you somewhere else to go to establish your own territory. Let's move on, man, from that. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of game of that because that nobody's talking about this type of stuff. And this is exactly why I be wanting to have conversations with real people about these type of things, because believe it or not, the women that I talk and come across, a lot of them go through these type of situations. A lot of them don't have nobody that they can really trust. Think about this for a second. If you can't trust anybody amongst your family, who can you really trust on the outside? Who can you? If family gonna do it to you first, what makes you think? We literally watched Kurt Franklin's mother lie to him 3 occasions about who his father was, even when they knew 99.9. So guess what? I'm surprised. I'm glad he turned out the way that he did as far as producing gospel and different things like that, because he could have ended up far worse. Another one is Blueface. And there's others out there that have come out of those family dynamics and made something of themselves through a chaotic environment. Keisha Cole, the list goes on. But be mindful of these type of people and be mindful of the situation that I just showed you. Start searching in your family to who's who. And when I say who's really who when the mask is off, especially when they broke and they ain't got nothing going on. That's the real person, because either they're going to either rise to the occasion or they're going to fail miserably at life. So be very aware of those type of people. Let's move on to this next one.
Bro, if you don't move your crusty ass fucking hand out my fucking face, get your crusty ass fucking fingers out my face before I break your finger.
You gonna run us up here, you holding up the damn line. Shit.
Okay, go somewhere.
Don't make no damn thing you brought your ass around that woman's face. Yeah, girl, please. Get your motherfucking ass on that goddamn floor.
You clearly saw me in line.
Go somewhere. How about that?
We're waiting. Like I said.
It's not even worth it, man.
You on camera, so you going to jail. You're going to jail.
Damn! Really? Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is the police on the way? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
Calm down.
Wow.
I'm showing you the reality of where we are in our society right now. A minor situation like that turned into something to where it became a felony. This is what's going on. And like I told you, when I break this down, the family dynamic is the most important thing. This is an ongoing occurrence. And for her to sit there and throw a tantrum like that tells me a lot about exactly who she is as a person. For it not to register, and that girl specifically said that she don't even have all her money. There was an array of options that she could have took today. It was a array of she could have chose a lot more options than being destructive. But I'm gonna say this: sometimes people aren't just mentally ill. Sometimes people just want to do whatever it is that they want to do, and they are willing to accept the consequence. Sometimes people cannot be reasoned with. Sometimes people will mow you over in the process to get their point across. And guess what? Even if the satisfactory part of them getting to exactly what she wanted to do, even if it meant beating somebody up, even if it meant stabbing or harming somebody, she was willing to do so to get whatever point across that she was trying to make. When we get to the end right here, the end, this was the result of what she wanted. She wanted to make an impact, a statement, which made no sense at all. But these are the type of people that are dwelling amongst our society. And guess what? Even if the lady took a chance by even saying, hey, baby, calm down, calm down. She could have got caught in the matrix herself. We're living in a moment time where people are literally out of their minds. They have no regard for human life, no regard for safety, no regard for anything. And let me tell you something. Most people say, well, oh, no, that wouldn't be me. I wouldn't get caught dead. These people dwell everywhere. These people are amongst our society. I'm talking about when you try to stop it, we are being overrun with these type of individuals. These are the type of people that will fight you hard. You heard John Henry Clark. A lot of times it ain't verbally of what they'll do to you. It's also physically and it's also emotionally of what they'll do to you to try to get you and bring you down into their realm. Obviously, this is a person that's unhinged. Obviously, this is a person that's not making any sense at the moment. So sometimes you just have to let things play out for how they're going to play out. And sometimes when you let them play out, sometimes you got to stay out. And when you stay out, you can observe exactly, okay, this is what I don't need to be around, or I don't need to engage with, or I need to be mindful of even keeping my head on a swivel even more so. When that lady was sitting there literally talking to her saying that, baby, you holding up the line. And she knew she didn't have the money. Right in her heart of heart, she said it. And that right there became the triggering effect and the embarrassing moment. And she still tried to take her groceries. She was going to literally steal. Listen, I'm pretty sure there was somebody in that line that could have literally paid for that. You literally could have 5-10 seconds could have been a moment to where you didn't catch a family. 5 to 10 seconds. But we live in a society, and I'm not beating up on the women. I want to be clear about this. I'm not beating up on the women. But if you do not know how to temper your emotions, then that's the end result of what you're going to get. If you do not look yourself in the mirror and not lie to yourself and say, hey, you know what? I need to really work on that part. I really, 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 really need to tap in. I really, really need to go and I need to focus on what I need to focus on because this is the part of my life that I'm weak in. And I need to be strong. And I need to know how to do this so that I can cohabitate with somebody. And guess what? Everybody that has seen this and it's in the millions of views, is somebody really going to take you serious when they can see that you can be openly and blatantly destructive of people's property, of a business right there? If you're willing to do that to somebody and you didn't have enough money for groceries, just imagine if somebody don't come through for you. This is a blatant tantrum. And this is why I say when you're raised and not in the right environment, that this is going to be allowed. If she allowed herself to get to that point, there's some things I guarantee in her past that she's done just like this over and over. And now it's spilled over into the public to where now she's still, even in that moment, knowing that she's wrong, she still feels justified. But like I say, man, if y'all want to comment, man, y'all jump up, man. If y'all have had experiences, I would love to hear from y'all. If y'all have had these type of experiences of where, man, it just became overwhelming and different things like that. But I'm bringing these things to attention and I'm breaking these down because these need to be talked about. But I want to bring up this next one. Check this one out.
Fucking baby, fuck nigga. Stop playing with me. Man, you went on loud with him. Don't play with me. Man, you better fight back. Oh, God.
What the fuck is she doing, fam?
Now, fuck, come get your shit. Huh? No, nigga. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Fuck, nigga. You're not gay. You're not home. I'm at home with your motherfucking baby. Fuck, nigga.
I'm going to say this, and I want to talk to you fellas real quick. I want to talk to you fellas, and I want to look directly in this when I say this. In this situation right here, he knew exactly what he was dealing with. He knew exactly what that young girl was capable of. He didn't have to let it get to the point of where he had a child with this girl because he knew always that this was what she was capable of. And I want to talk to you fellas. There are some women out here that can whoop your ass. There's some women that will put the beats on you. He deserved, if he got caught cheating, everything that he deserved. He got what he deserved. You know why? Because like I said, you have a million other ways of getting out of certain situations. I said this on the last program. If a woman is giving you an out, take the out. 9 times out of 10, a woman knows exactly what you're doing. When you playing in her face, she's going to react like this. And guess what? She looks like she got them hands. And as you can see, she can put the beats on anybody. She didn't put hands on him, put hands on her. And guess what? At the end of the day, he learned a valuable lesson. Stop playing with people's time. Stop playing with people's lives. Stop playing with people's emotions. He knew exactly what that girl was capable of. And guess what? She put a couple of Roy Jones combos on him. And let me make no mistake. This ain't the first time that she done it. That ain't the first time. Because he balled up. His instincts wasn't to even be like, hey, you tripping. That girl done literally done that to him. And for him to be that in that state of mind to where he thought that she isn't on top of her note, he must be crazy. Let me tell you something. That girl goes through phones. That girl checks Instagram. She checks Facebook. She checks TikTok. She sees if you're a Twitcher. She gets on your Twitch, scrolls through the comments to make sure that everything is intact. That girl is also grabbing your phone. There shouldn't be no code on your phone. That girl runs a tight ship. She runs a tight ship. And guess what? You got your goddamn battleship sunk playing with that girl emotion. I'm talking to you fellas. Please, please, please stop playing with these young girls, man. You don't know that some of these people are on their last leg in relationships. They're on their last leg with dealing with somebody and opening up to somebody. You don't know what these people are capable of. So guess what? If anything, if y'all want to break up, man, listen, don't just be destructive. Now I'm saying in that situation, you shouldn't be destructive in that. That was kind of extreme. But however, he knew exactly what kind of woman he was dealing with, and she was always capable of that. But I don't think he understood the significance behind her. Why? Because he thought, oh, she's a female. She's going to, whatever. No. It's some women that will whoop your ass on sight. It's some women that will knock the furniture out of your mouth by playing with her, especially when you're dealing with another female. And you heard specifically what she said. She said, I got your baby at home. So guess what? You deserved anything and everything that you got in that moment. Because guess what? If you tried to play her on some sucker shit like that, yeah, you deserve to get punched in your mouth. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm talking to you fellas because a lot of times y'all don't understand that y'all are just one stabbing away or one bullet away from ending your life by playing with somebody's emotions. I keep telling you, you got to understand people's family dynamic. She looked like she been fighting a long time. She been looking like Silly from The Color Purple. She been all my life I had to fight. She been fighting a very long time. And you put yourself in an uncompromisable position. Now guess what? What if she would have literally hit you with something, knocked you out cold, or probably killed you? Now she would have been going to jail, you would have been dead, and then that child would have been in a foster home. See, a lot of times you don't understand how serious people take you. A lot of times, and I'm not saying it's justified, but a lot of times your words or your actions with women, so they believe you to a certain extent. So guess what? If you led this woman to believe something and it wasn't like that, then shame on you, bruh. You got to take your lick. Literally, as you was getting your ass whooped at the table, you got to take your lick like that, bruh. Some people ain't playing. I keep telling you, everybody's not playing. And you playing Russian roulette with your life, especially with a girl that got the hands that look like Clarissa Shields. So you got to be serious about this shit, bruh. Be serious about your life and be serious about the women you deal with. And I'm talking to you fellas because a lot of times they feel like I beat up on the women, but I'm talking to you fellas because I'm trying to keep you alive. I'm trying to keep you to where you ain't got a shit bag. I'm trying to keep you alive in these streets so you ain't falling by the wayside, because that's the most key ingredient of staying alive and thriving, not staying alive and surviving until you perish. Nah, we're not trying to do that. In 2026, we're adapting a different mindset. We're moving different. We stacking our paper. We handling our business. We being responsible for our children. We being accountable for the children that we try to act like we don't have up under the table, side babies. Hey man, it's time for us to just live in our moment of truth. That's the best thing to do. And guess what? When you live in your moment of truth, you ain't got to worry about getting your head punched off or you getting your mustache punched off of you, especially when you're doing somebody dirty. But think about that, fellas. Think about that the next time you go to cheat. Think about that the next time that you think you're doing something slick. And guess what? That came right before you and you had nothing to do. You had nothing to say. You balled up in the curl in the fetal position like a bitch because you knew exactly you was wrong. But yeah, man. Listen. Let's get to this educational part, man. This educational part is what I wanted to really hit home with. I want y'all to check this out.
My mother was not a good baby mama. I seen that as a child. My father would try to come see us. She would run him off. We would be wrong for giving our dad our number or our address. And if she find out you gave him our phone number or address, you get in trouble for it. I seen that as a child. But then I was angry at him because he didn't fight. He didn't fight harder. At some point he gave up. I did not understand. All I knew was you gave up. So I was angry at him. My daddy got out of prison. He done like 2 years in prison for like beating somebody's ass. And when he got out, he came seen us and I got into it with my sister. He got into the middle of it, so I punched on my daddy, right? Out of anger, because I was so mad at him. But it's like, where the hell have you been? So my dad stood back and he just did this. He said, get it out. My mother.
I want you to hear what he had to say.
My mother was not a good.
I really want you to hear what he said. He didn't discover this until he got older. But listen exactly and carefully what he said.
Baby mama. I seen that as a child. My father would try to come see us. She would run him off. We would be wrong for giving our dad our number or our address. And if she find out you gave him our phone number or address, you get in trouble for it.
I want you to understand something about this, and I want to talk to us as a whole. Older black men, younger black men, older black women, younger black women. In these type of situations, it does each other no good, but I understand. A lot of times in these situations, if there is infidelity, and I'm not justifying this, I want us to have a real hearty conversation. And I want y'all to join me if y'all want to comment on this. And I really want us to open up with at this moment. I'm going to play devil's advocate. A lot of times infidelity comes into play here. That woman doesn't have any kind of physical way to get at the man if he's cheating. if he's doing things that he ain't got no business. So a lot of times when these children are involved, the only thing that a woman can try to make a man feel is by separating herself and getting away from the situation herself, and then sometimes pitting the kids against him because she has no physical capability. So she starts to play mental manipulation and mental mind games within the children to turn them against their father. I'm not saying it's okay, but these are the type of things that go on within the Black culture on a constant basis. I've seen these things with my own eyes, especially when a man moves on and that woman feels like she burnt the worst of the worst and she never got the best of him. And to see him thriving with somebody else. These are the things that tear us apart. Vice versa for the woman. She's being a cheater and whatnot. So she spins the narrative around to protect her imagery. There are a lot of things that go on within our culture that need to be fixed. And the children suffer the most out of it all. I went through that. There's a lot of times when a woman feels what she feels, she's willing to stop at nothing and destroy anything and everybody to make her feel, to make you feel what she feels. Make no mistake about it. We are a society in Black culture that have witnessed so many things, experienced so many things before maturity, not getting to the point of adulthood, but seeing so many of these things play out amongst us, hearing our fathers being called names, hearing our mothers being called names, seeing the physical capabilities of them being destructive towards one another because of whatever situation, because of infidelity, because of lies, because of cheating, or whatever it may be. A lot of times the children are thrown in the midst of it all to understand it from 9 times out of 10, whoever holds custody of those children. And as you can see, we see right here that obviously he got to a grown status before he knew exactly what was going on between his mother and the father. He hated his father for so long, but he was wrong for so long and didn't understand the significance of behind what was going on. See, when everything gets told from one perspective, it's always going to be validated as the truth. When you have somebody sitting down with that person to challenge or even to say, hey, wait a minute, that's incorrect. This is exactly what it is. What makes you think that with the process of him trying to reach out to his father, trying to not even necessarily build a family between them, but just a respect factor, have a cordial understanding, what make you think that that child is not going to hate their father? A lot of times these young boys grow up learning only half the story. Sometimes these young girls grow up only knowing half the story, even when the mother is wrong. That's something that needs to be looked at in 2026. At these family gatherings, these family reunions, some truths need to be aired out. At these gatherings that we get ready to drink and do all this type of stuff with, a lot of truths are hanging in the balance of our culture and hanging in the balance of our family. A lot of family secrets. A lot of the people that we play with that we thought was our cousins was actually our sisters. The side baby that we always thought was the cousin of the family was actually your brother and sister. Those are the things that get swept up under the table. If we ever going to get to a moment of truth in the real world, we got to start with the moment of truth within our families. We got to start with the moment of truth of the people that we deal with, that we so-called love unconditionally, which is our parents, our mothers, and our fathers. It shouldn't be a divide, but we are at a divide because guess what? We can see even in marriage, when you scroll down and see who's getting divorced, even in the celebrity world, it's all one-sided. You can see the gender war. We've literally lived the gender war out within our families and transitioned to it to the internet. That's what we are in our society. We have hated each other from a mother paternal standpoint, and now we're online doing it because we feel those same feelings, whether it's the male or the female side, not understanding both sides of the spectrum. That's where we at in our society. But I'm glad that he got to understand who his father was and the truth behind what his father was doing, as opposed for him to carry on that burden. Because as you can see, that weight And it still hurts him to this day to know what was going on and to know that he didn't find out the truth until he was already halfway grown. And when I say halfway grown, meaning he was already in the middle stages of his life before he found out the truth about his mother. But I challenge y'all, get with your family, sit down and talk, have real conversations that could change your family dynamic in an instant. But most of all, you got to be honest with yourself before you be honest with anybody. But that's just me. But I want to say this too, and I want to get to the second part. Make sure when you go through with your family, make sure you don't point the finger, but try to understand first before anything. That could lead to some doors being unlocked and some truths being answered that you may have never gotten out of your parents, probably the last 15 or 20 years. So, there's some food for thought. But I want to go on. This part.
They tell the Coke versus Pepsi war like it was just about taste. But in Jim Crow America, it was about race. Coca-Cola was sold as a white man's drink, and Pepsi? They hired Edward Boyd, one of the first black executives in corporate America, to build the first all-black marketing team. Not out of respect, out of profit. Coca-Cola was born in Atlanta in 1886, right in the Jim Crow South. From the start, Coke ads showed white families, white workers, white leisure. Right. And then came the panic. Around 1906, Southern newspapers pushed racist lies that Coke, with its caffeine and before 1904's actual Coke, would make black men violent or lust after white women. Lawmakers even used those fears when passing the Pure Food and Drug Act. Coke's answer was to double down on respectability, market the drink to white middle-class women, keep black consumers invisible. That's how Coke built his empire, selling whiteness in a bottle. By the 1940s, Pepsi saw what Coke refused to see. Black America was a massive market. And in 1947, they hired Edward F. Boyd, one of the first black executives in corporate marketing. He built a 12-man all-black sales team that hit the road across the U.S. selling Pepsi to black consumers. Their ads were revolutionary for the time. Black families at the dinner table, black professionals at work, black kids smiling with the Pepsi in hand. They ran in Ebony, the Afro-American, and black newspapers all across the country. Boyd's team even tied Pepsi to jazz legends like Duke Ellington, weaving the brand into black culture. For the first time, a major company said, "We see you." But make no mistake, this was complete strategy. Pepsi didn't uplift us out of love. They wanted the dollars that Coke left on the table. But even inside, Pepsi's racism never left. Bottlers in the South straight out refused to run Boyd's ads. Some destroyed his materials. Corporate leaders pressured him to tone it down out of fear of white backlash. By 1951, Boyd left the company, but he had already changed history. He proved that black buying power couldn't be ignored. He proved that representation in advertising wasn't charity. It was profit. And it shook the industry. So what do we take from this? Coca-Cola sold whiteness as safety. Pepsi sold blackness as marketable. And Edward Boyd, he carved out the space between, forcing the corporate world to see us, even if only as consumers. That's the blueprint we're still living in today. Companies don't just want diversity. They want markets. They'll target us, feature us, even tokenize us. But equity, ownership, that is not what they're selling. So next time you crack open a Coke or a Pepsi, remember you're not just drinking soda, you're drinking history. Coke built his empire by locking us out. Pepsi built his brand by letting Edward Boyd and his sales team market us in. But neither of them were selling freedom. They were selling segregation in a bottle.
I brought that to us for us to understand something. Boyd did something and took a chance. You don't think for a second that Boyd was going to receive backlash from the moment that he took seat to focus on creating something that was going to be of value and him not have ownership. Think about this for a second. This is why you see me talk the way that I talk. You see me get on here and I break down these things for us to understand. And when I say understand, meaning for us to utilize and us to be able to grow with. You see the brands I represent. You see exactly what I put out there as far as our culture. You see what I stand behind. You see the markets that I've gone into. You've seen the places that I work to understand how this thing called life and marketing and us establishing business works. You've seen me say, I want to repeat myself because I want us to fucking understand exactly how serious it is. And I know y'all saying, hey man, with the cussing, but I want us to be effective in what I'm saying because I know what the hell I'm talking about. When I watched you and just showed you Byron Allen with McDonald's, who he worked 10 times as hard to get 3 times as less when he controlled the market as far as the marketing dollars within McDonald's. They gave him $5 million when he's 90% of the market share, when they've got 290 something million going elsewhere. If you understand the value in your dollar, you'll understand the value in your family. You'll understand the value in your family and how you market yourself and how you put yourself and you become uncompromisable and you become relentless in accomplishing your goals. When Boyd sat down there as a black man, you don't think that he had every person that disliked black people breathing down his neck? You don't think that he had to fight 10 times as hard, get told no on the multiple occasions, just for the sake of not even wanting to hear his pitch, not even wanting to hear his marketing ideas, because they felt that he was inferior? Like I said, that we were already recognized as 3/5 as a person. And you sitting here trying to screw over and fuck over the people that are really trying to have something in this world. We'll never get ahead when you got that type of mentality. And I guarantee it was blacks that worked against him too. It wasn't just the white counterparts. That's why I said when it's internal, it's more destructive than the external. I'm going to give you this. A person that I know that was black when I worked at HISD. He literally tried to pin people against each other. He didn't understand that I understood what a proxy war was way back then. He didn't understand that I knew the scientific terms and the therapeutic terms for me to understand exactly of who he was as a person that tried to get me fired. When I worked at HISD, this dude tried to pretend like he was my friend, and I could see exactly through him. I could see the people that he did dirty. I could see the people that worked for him and didn't mind working for him, and he fucked them over. And he literally got his ass fired. And if he was standing right before me today and he reached out his hand and pretend, and that's another thing that I got a problem with. People will walk up to you knowing they fucked you over and then try to pretend like they cool with you, and they not. I've never been that type, male or female. If that man ever walked up to me and tried to shake my hand, I'd knock him the fuck out right where he's staying. You know why? Because ain't no expiration date on fuck shit. I don't live in a society where we fuck each other over in 6 months, a year, or a year later we friends. No, it's fuck you then and it's fuck you now. As it should be. You got to start ostracizing people out. Once you out, you out. Ain't no coming back in. Because guess what? You think I'm going to wait for you to do it again? Nah. That man I'm going to tell you exactly what he did. I was on a vacation. Matter of fact, I think it was for my daughter being born. And I didn't even know that they had transitioned, and he caught me up on tape, tried to get me to make it like I was actually incompetent of doing my job, knowing that they had made a complete switch around before I even knew who was taking positions, because they had actually started eliminating positions within HISD. So everybody had to move around. So I didn't even know. I wasn't emailed. I wasn't nothing. But he tried to make it like I purposely refused to give a call to somebody, which never worked in my department, never got an email on who was changing, who was transitioning to what. But that type of individual is the type of people right now at your job, waiting for you to mess up, waiting to put you in a trick bag, waiting to put you and knock you out of position so that they can stand on top of you and justify whatever it is that they want. That's where we at. I learned that way back then. And I'm only sharing this with you because there is nobody else talking about this. There is nobody talking about how to be mindful and to be warnful of certain people that will befriend you at a job all the while they're trying to cloak and dagger you at the same time. There is nobody talking about this type of stuff. We don't have a black media giving us clues, context clues, information, answers, data, analytics on any of these type of things. There is nobody covering it. You know why? Because it's unattractive according to their society. But guess what? Within black society, long as there's chaos, long as there's disorder, long as there's destruction, long as there's anarchy, that's what they think that we're bound for. No, we are more of a species. We are more of a race than just a whole bunch of primitive, negative energy. We are more than that. And it's time that we start showing them. And when I say showing them, meaning sometimes you just got to push their ass off the block for them to understand where you're coming from. You'll let all the fuck shit go on in your community. You'll let all the fuck shit go on within your family. But when it's time for us to address some real stuff, everybody's silent. Nobody wants to talk about the real. But this woman just gave you a piece of history for us to understand that, guess what? Even when they want to win and make profit, they still gonna be mad at you for having the ideas that they didn't. If that ain't racism, then I don't know what is. But be mindful. Let that story be a testimony to you to understand that, guess what? They'll play both sides of the fence, even if it means for them to get the job done. So be it. They'll do what it has. They'll do what they have to do to get the profit. So understand that, guess what? If that man can create a brand and not be owner of it and to make it thrive the way it has thrived the last, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we can do the same for ourselves. Shout out to those entrepreneurs and hustlers. But let that one be for the history books. I got one for you, though. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Lacey Leonard, wife of former NFL defensive tackle Lewis Leonard, and this is a part of his story that many people don't see. My husband survived the NFL, but now he's surviving everything it left behind. People see the glory, the lights, the crowds, but they don't see this, the aftermath. The pain, the stiffness, the tremors, the battle his body fights every single day. This is our reality. Physical therapy at the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center. A warrior learning to move again, step by step and punch by punch. And through it all, he doesn't complain. He shows up, he fights, he keeps going. This is strength. This is courage. This is life after the NFL. It's not all glitz and glam, and it does come with a price. And if I could give just a piece of advice to some of the younger ladies or families, don't romanticize this life. The real work happens after the game is long over.
Shout out to this woman, man. I got to give her some love. Shout out to this sister. I reposted her maybe about a couple of weeks ago, and it stood out to me. And the reason that it stood out to me is because that's what family is. That's what dedication is. He gave his body on the field, and she's not getting the best part of him. She's getting the therapeutic, the process of him recovering all over again. That's the person that she's getting. And the reason why I took a liking to this is because that woman is putting her time, her patience, her energy into her husband. She understands that she reaped the benefits of the glitz and glamour. But the thing she said was the key ingredient, that the real part of the marriage starts when he walked off that field. For her to be by that man's side, I commend that. While everybody's staring at Cardi B and Stephon Diggs, who I personally don't give a fuck about, this right here is the real. That part of her being by her man's side and consistently doing so, and understanding that, guess what? He gave his life. He gave his body for them to be able to have the comfortable lifestyle that they have. And for now, him to be paying the price in the later years. She understands what sacrifice is. She understands exactly what her purpose is. And she understands the value of who she is as a woman, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to give a damn but them. And when he reaches that pinnacle, and I know he's going to get strong, and I know he's going to get powerful, and he's going to be back to his own self, he's going to be with that woman the rest of his life. These are the stories that need to be on the forefront. Them are the stories that really need to be on the forefront for us to understand what really true Black excellence and Black love is. And that woman is a representation of what Black love is. You know why? Because guess what? They went through their ups, they went through their downs, they've been through all of that in their process. But one thing, and make no mistake about it, she has not left his side. And that woman deserves all the credit, all the respect, and all the love in the world, because that right there, she shows her dedication, her determination, and all the intensity that she has for her husband when nobody else is around. Nobody but her and him. And for him to be on his side the way that he is on his side and become codependent, you know how hard that is? For him to become dependent upon the woman when he's been the primary breadwinner, he's been the leader, he's been on the field with his teammates and things. But guess what? When them phone calls stopped, and those opportunities stopped, and all of those pains and all of those aches start kicking in, and all of these things that are now going on with him post NFL, she realized it was just them. And my heart goes out to him. My heart goes out to her. Much love, much respect. She's doing her thing. That's what Black love is. That what you see on your screen, her being able to be at that man's side and at his beck and call, knowing that he did everything he could for them to be afforded the lifestyle that they have. Salute to them. I got this one, and I want to touch bases on this right here. This is this one. Check this out.
What? Are you serious?
If you have elderly people, 60, 70 years old, completely healthy and fit, they get a colonoscopy, 3 days later they are dead because they poke a hole in the colon, the bacteria goes in there, they're dead. Women go to a mammography, they find something, then medical profession goes into with a needle biopsy and pokes into something that's there to save your life. A tumor is there to save your life. The body builds a bag to put all the toxins in that are in your body that try to kill you and stores them in your lymph nodes. So now they come and poke into the lymph node, and what will happen is they now spread the poison that the body is collecting for 10, 20 years in the entire body, and 12 days later, these women are dead. Also, a mammography, 50 pounds of pressure on a woman's breast. Imagine you have a lymph node, a pimple that's ready to burst.
Yeah.
So now you put 50 pounds of pressure on it, you burst it. You give the patient the cancer.
We're going to repeat this again.
Now, that's an interesting take. Now, I'm not too sure of that, but it is something to think about. And I'm not trying to get banned, you know what I'm saying? Because they, when it comes to medical things, they want to make sure that you are in the guidelines between these type of things. But that's a very interesting thing, because the body does sometimes, when it wants to get certain things out of his body, we've seen boils and different things like that. Now, what's very interesting about the take of what he talked about is because now we see these type of things going on within the Black culture, and guess whose mortality rate is the highest amongst anybody, especially within Texas? Black women. I think that's a very interesting take. I think that I'm going to check out some more details on that, but I'm going to say this: be self-aware. Put as much health in your body as you can, as far as putting in the work, also putting in the medicines, the different natural ingredients that your body will adapt to and to make itself better and stronger and faster. Please, by all means, get your black seed oil, get your turmeric, get all your honey, get all of those essential things that your body needs in order to thrive. Don't take for granted your life. And the reason why I say don't take for granted your life, may he rest in peace, Skinny. I didn't even know that he had passed away, which he just passed away, and they buried him Saturday. It's still a shocker to me. One of my good friends, out of Fifth Ward. Shout out to Jimmy and them, man. I love them. I hadn't seen him in a while. You know, I've been moving and grooving so much. But me, I always would have thought, and this is crazy because I thought about him the other day. And I planned on going over there just to mess with him and to see what he was up to and just this fast. Because we have birthdays, similar birthdays. Matter of fact, my birthday is August the 13th. I believe his is August the 16th, right after mine. And was a good friend of mine that I did not take the time to. And I want y'all to understand that you got to value your time on earth. I never would have pictured him going the way I just found out. And it's a serious thing that we got to value our time and value our energy and value our time and energy around those who value us. I want us to go away from this show tonight and check on the people that you love and check on the people that you care about. Make sure you tap in with them. Let you know that you love them. Let people know that you love them and care about them, because those are the key things that are essential in us being humans. We're not just supposed to be workers and gatherers and nurturers. We're supposed to be people that care about each other and care for one another. So make sure tonight, whatever you do, go check on the people that you haven't checked on in a while and make sure that they okay. Shout out to my boy, man. Love you, Skin. Always, bro. Rest in peace. This blew my mind, man. I found this out maybe 2 days ago, maybe a day ago, and it just threw me for a loop, and I've still been in a funk since then. But check on the people that you love and check on the people you care about, for real, for real. Yes, man. And I really want to do this tonight because I think we gotta make sure we do this tonight. And I really wanted to touch bases with this tonight. And this is real. You already know who it is. It's Black Rob. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming live and direct, full effect with the Black Rob.
One more time, baby.
Listen, check this out. From me to you, if they violate, regulate, demonstrate. I'm telling you this right now. If they violate, regulate, demonstrate. The reason why I'm telling you is if they violate, regulate, and demonstrate, because you're supposed to have parameters and guidelines around you. A lot of times people that don't feel like you fun or you the fun police is because you have discipline among yourself. Don't never let nobody get you to trick you or to get you to break your belief system because of what you do and how you handle things. Sometimes your life can be comfortable to others, and sometimes they want to get your life uncomfortable to be on the same level as theirs. But if they violate, you regulate. And when I say you regulate it is you put them in their place, even if it means getting physical. Hey, man, this is where I stop. This is where I draw the line. This is what I do. I don't play no games with everybody else. This is me. You're you. But at the end of the day, respect me as a man or respect me as a woman. And hey, this is how I'm handling mine. Now, you can do whatever it is that you want to do over there. But when it comes to me, I'm safeguarding myself. I move in structure. I move in discipline. And if you got a problem with that, then oh well, do something. But make sure people respect your boundaries. Make sure people respect you for you, because there are a lot of people that are waiting in line to blatantly disrespect you to see if they can knock you off of your pivot. But I want you to stay strong. I want you to stay efficient. And I want, most of all, for you to stay in control of your life and stay in control of your destiny, because can't nobody live your life better than you. Shout out to y'all, man. But I just want to drop a little knowledge on y'all tonight, especially when it comes to this black fatigue thing, man. I use those as examples because a lot of people have been bringing a lot of things to my attention. You've seen me do the ratchet. You've seen me do the educational. But this is a page to where we can learn as much as we possibly learn. And we can actually earn the respect of one another. Because a lot of times the high vibrations create a high vibrational way of life. High vibrational way of thinking and interacting to where we can actually uplift ourselves, to where, guess what, it just don't happen on this program. It happens in our everyday life. It happens with the people we encounter. It happens with our children. It happens with our offspring. It happens with our siblings. the way God intended it for it to be. But I really want us to hit home with this, man. If they violate, you regulate and you demonstrate. Do that. Shout out to y'all, man, for real, for real. I want to pay a couple of bills. Listen, I want to pay a couple of bills. If you ever got a chance, please go over to Ed Hennings, CO. Ed Hennings, CO. All ILA workers in the Houston area are going to get $50 off with the product code from Rod the Prob. DM me or email me at let'syapabout@gmail.com. You see it at the bottom of the screen. Take advantage of it. Listen to me and do me one favor. Listen, recommend this program. Listen, if anybody wants to actually come on, become exactly about what I'm talking about, and just join the conversation, by all means, man. I love for people to come up and give their perspectives, man. Listen, you could be from anywhere, California, Frisco, man, all the way to Spain. I don't care. Long as you come on here with a high vibration, you stay on topic, man. Listen, we can talk about any and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that these are the conversations that we need and for our culture to grow. And I'm going to say this, and I really had this conversation. This generation cannot afford to screw up. As opposed to my generation where you could have had at least maybe 1 to 5 months to recover, you don't have that now. The mess ups that you make now in 2026 can really set you back almost 5 years. Financially, emotionally. This is serious. What's going on, Shay Love? What's going on? Shout out to Shay Love. Definitely, man. I really dropped this stuff because I really want our culture to do better. But yes, I really want us to high vibration. I want us to get to a higher vibration. I want us to be to where we don't justify or even have coping mechanisms that resonate with us on that level more than actually us obtaining something of higher heights. I really want us to get to that next level. I really want to see these young boys aspire to being engineers. I really want to see these young boys aspire to a lot of things, to things that they never could fathom coming out of their own families or their own family nucleus. I want our young girls to be able to go after certain things and to create opportunities, not just for the women, but for the young boys too. And the young boys to create opportunities for the women. And we actually get to see that love that Dr. Amos Wilson talked about, because that love is a reflection of your community. When you walk outside and you see nothing but negative, there is a reflection of the love that is being sucked out, the love that has been drained, the love that is not a part of our society the way that it used to be post-civil rights movement. Let's get back to the love. Let's get back to that foundation. Let's get back to those things that made us thrive and made everybody else sweat in the process. Let's get back to that. Because I'm talking to a lot of young brothers now, man, they stacking their paper, they working, they grinding, they getting a great relationship with God, and they definitely staying out the way. And guess what? I've laid down that blueprint, and a lot of young brothers is following them. Shout out to my OGs, OG Fry. Always. Shout out to OG Fry. Shout out to my friend, comedian Black Ron. Listen, one of the funniest guys, a legend in the game all across the board. And shout out to the OGs, Shorty Rock, the YTC crew, Ears to Christ, that's out of DC, man. All the people that really rock with me and see exactly what I'm talking about and how I'm moving. I'm not just talking the talk, I'm actually walking the walk. And I really want you to see on these next future episodes of where we're going to sit down as men. We're going to have men on here. We're going to have young ladies on here asking the right questions, even my daughter. So you can actually see that we're putting in the work and we're changing. You're going to see us having these adult conversations at dinner. You're going to start seeing us one-on-one in private areas, really to where you can sit down and formulate a strategy for your family. Strategize a way of opportunity to where you can see a father really has in real time love for his daughter, and his daughter has real time, real action love for her father. And guess what? We're listening to each other. We're sharing ideas. We're getting perspectives. We're getting serious. We're having fun. These are the moments that need to be seen amongst each other, not from a TV show, not white executives telling us what the imagery of black culture is and what the imagery of black family is, but we're creating that narrative. We're sounding off. We're fighting and combating that. We aren't just a family that didn't get out of the ghetto from good times. No, we are actually building and creating spaces. We're actually going to software, artificial intelligence, different things that are modern day right now in real time. And we are balancing that out. We're not just being at work all the time. We're actually spending time with our families. That's the key ingredient. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, man, that's been rocking with me, man. Listen, shout out to y'all, man. Man, for real, I appreciate every comment. Listen, Shy Love, appreciate you, man. Definitely, we definitely gonna tap in. I'm gonna list the new things for the chat and whatnot, so y'all can come on and we're gonna definitely have some high vibrational conversations. And we definitely gonna and also too, share this program, drop a comment, let me know what y'all think. Let me know that y'all like the material that I drop and the different things that I talk about, the different subjects that I talk about. And if you also have some, hit me at that email at the bottom, the Let's Yap About It Gmail. I'm gonna answer you back. As you can see, I've been getting quite a few comments. I respond to them very, very swiftly, and I will respond to that email very swiftly. Shout out to y'all, man. Listen, we finna get ready to end the show, but I also wanted to say this too, man. Do that for me. Do that for me today. Go check on the people that you ain't normally checked on. Go show some love to somebody. Just be a blessing to somebody. Just even if it means, hey man, look, I just bought you your favorite chocolate or something. Just do something nice. Get your mind in the spirit of being happy. Get your mind in the spirit of being a giver. Get your mind in the spirit of doing something outside of your norm, so that guess what? Certain things can also come back differently from you. And I'm going to share that with you on the next episode. This is our actual 4th episode, man. I'm excited about everything, man. And I want to thank y'all for joining me. So listen to me. I want to thank y'all all for joining tonight's broadcast. And if I came up in your feed and you stopped to take a peek in, then come join the conversation and comment down below. Well, we've come to an end. So tell a friend and let the conversation begin. So until the next time, we got a lot to yap about. And before I go tonight, shout out to my boy Asteroid. He got a fire song, man. Listen, I'm putting it all over the internet. You're going to see it all in my stories. It's called One of One by yours truly, Asteroid. Take us out. Good night, baby. We gone.
Alright, now this feel like one of them ones. I ain't been with you and maybe that's why I'm acting up. Or could be this liquor that's making us go and speak in tongues. But baby, I got this vision, you gotta see it, trust. I've been in rooms with Misses before we grew in love. I ain't too super on stitching, but let me knock on wood. Cause I feel like that little engine who really said he could. From the stars to your hood, heart to heart, now we got a lot, guess it's understood. She said la vie, you a moment of time, that's more than me. Might just catch me and vibe and flow the keys. Girl, you sexy and fine, I wanna feast. Now tell me what's your favorite station. I'm trying to know all your ins and out, no infiltration. The way that you caught my eye just like a pin location. Never seen how to focus, never go to patience. Management on my own, it's like I needed graces. Baby, she ain't too long, I like to keep it patient. Baby, I'm still alone, I like to cheat the dates.
So run it up, my love, you had me stuck like I have nowhere to go. And I really messed up, no bringing me down, I'm trapped in a rabbit's hole. So listen here, Alice, I want to enter your wonderland, and I'm wondering if you'll give me another chance to dance under the strobe lights and hold tight like a cold night.
Matter of warm vibes, branding love bites in a smooth ride. Just wanna go long ways, what's the wrong way? I ain't never need no side, it's always me and my muse and this pretty bitty on my eyes.
And I can find the time and space to see my one true love. My pretty little mistress is a miracle from the one that's up above. But a minute, don't fuck this up. Kinda dizzy, I'm losing blood. Don't go like, what's the rush? Put it on me to make me hush. You the only one in this club that can make my black ass blush. Cause you know I got a crush. This my 7th can. Crush my piece of candy. Crush like what the fuck? Bittersweet feeling. Throwing up from lust. Don't get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hands under my feet, I'm gonna run these streets. Ghetto life we live, I'm gonna shut my business. They never feel my pain, but they know my name. Ooh, yeah. They gon' know my name. It's been so long, I was trying to get right. Oh, it feel like I'm wrong. By the end of the night, I be all on my own. I ain't got a gun, I ain't running from a fight. I was locked down in the belly of the beast. I was just trying to make my way to the light. I had to make that bitch understand. I'm whipping shit with the other hand. Now I'm bouncing back like a rubber band. When it come to money, do the running man. And she just wanna fuck with a nigga who 100, yeah. Who 100? I don't want nothing, I just want some money, yeah. Some money. And she just wanna fuck with a nigga who 100, yeah. And I don't want nothing, I just want some money. I made a game, jabbing shit, I'm getting one of them rain. Traumatized, narcotic pain. Dirty word, I'm coming back with a stain. I paid the cost, dirty game, I preferred the cross. Had to learn how to take me a loss. Put them on and that made me a boss. And she just wanna fuck with a nigga who 100, yeah. Who 100? And I don't want nothing, I just want some money. Rose under my feet, I'm gonna run these streets. Ghetto life we live, I'm gonna shut my business. They never feel my pain, but they know my name. Ooh, yeah. They gon' know my name. I was down bad, but I never went against the code. I had love for dog, I had to cut him off, I heard it told. I would've laid down when I did the time for the game. And these be the same clowns that be tryna put dirt on my name. Ain't no credit for no mention to me. I know how to get the bag out the streets. I know how to turn a 1 to a 3. I know how to turn your bitch to a freak. And she just wanna fuck with a nigga who 100, yeah. Who 100? I don't want nothing, I just want some money, yeah. Some money. And she just wanna fuck with a nigga who 100, yeah. And I don't want nothing, I just want some money. Rose under my feet, I'm gonna run these streets. Ghetto life we live, I'm gonna shut my business. They never feel my pain, but they know my name. Ooh, yeah. They gon' know my name. I was down bad, but I never went against the code.
One more time, baby. B-L-A-C-K-R-O